All right. Problem number 1 is 8 is equal to x over 7. Now, what I want to do is we always want to make it look like x equals some stuff. And the way that we make it look like x equals some stuff is we do the inverse. So, in other words, I want to move stuff away from the x, and I do the opposite of what's being done. And you've heard of PEMDAS, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Well, when we solve, we go in a backwards order. We kind of go sad mep. And we're going to go in backwards order. So we'll come back to that in a second. So when I look here, I have the 7 and I want to move it away from the x. What's the 7 doing to the x right now? It's dividing. So what's the inverse of dividing? Right. But you multiply by 7 is what I'm saying. And remember, whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. Now, what's 7 divided by 7, which I think is what you were trying to say? 7 divided by 7 is 1. So this 7 over 7, in other words, what I'm saying is 7 divided by 7 just equals 1. Well, 1 times x is just x, isn't it? What's 7 times 8? 56. That's it. We're done with that question. Any questions on that? X equals 56. So what do I want you to write down on your paper? X equals 56 or all the work that I wrote down? All the work that I wrote down. All right, so now let's do the next one. So for problem number, and I'm going to skip around a bit. Well, what time? How much time we have left? We got enough time. So for problem number 2, I've got for problem number 2, I've got b divided by 9 equals negative 10. What do you think we should do, guys? Yeah, we're just going to multiply by 9. Whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other. The 9s cancel. Well, they reduce down to 1. What's 1 times b? 1b. We don't need to write the 1 down. Now, what's negative 10 times negative 9? Negative 90. That's it for that one. Okay. And to save time, I'm just going to keep writing on this page. Let's do, well, let me go up here so you guys can see what I've written down. So for problem number 3, I've got n over, well, let me give myself a little bit of room here. I've got n over 16, or n divided by 16, is equal to negative 4. What's the 16 doing to the n? Well, hold on. It's dividing, so we would multiply by 16. Whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. What's 16 divided by 16? 1. What's 1 times n? N. What's negative 4 times positive 16? Plug that in your calculator. No, you did it wrong. It's negative 64. You did 16 to the 4th power is what you did. So, or you squared it or something. But anyways, it's n equals 64. Does that make sense? Negative 64. Thank you. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. For problem number 4, I've got negative 42 is equal to 3 times p. I need to move the 3 away from the p. What is the 3 currently doing to the p? Well, yeah, answer the question I'm asking, though. It's multiplying, and so since it's multiplying, we would, in fact, divide by 3. Okay? What's 3 divided by 3? 1. What's 1 times p? Just p. Now, what is negative 42 divided by positive 3? Negative 14. See how easy this is? Let's do problem number 5. Problem number 5, I have b over 14 is equal to 7. Multiply both sides by 14, right? 14 divided by 14 is 1. 1 times b is just b. What's 7 times 14? It's what? 98. Plug it in your calculator if you don't know. Moving on to the next one. Can I move on? All right, good.
Oh, I didn't get the answer. Well, too bad.
What are you doing back there? Hold on, I'll go back. That's the problem with doing these like this.
Is that 98?
98, yep. By the way, let's not, nobody said any names yet, but remember, we can't say names when Mr. Adams is recording. For problem number 6, I've got negative 8 times b equals negative 32. If I want to move the 8 away and the 8 is multiplying by b, what do I do? The inverse of multiplication is division. Whatever I do on one side, I do to the other. Negative 8 divided by negative 8 is a positive 1. Positive 1 times b is b. What's negative 32 divided by negative 8?
4. Negative 4.
Well, which is it? Positive or negative?
Negative.
What's a negative divided by a negative? Okay, so then it's positive 4. By the way, if you can't remember the rules and Mr. Adams isn't standing next to you, how could you find the answer for that? Plug it in the calculator. Look, when I go in the calculator, if I just type negative 32 divided by negative 8, guess what? It tells me it's positive 4. Okay? So that's why we give you guys these calculators. Should you know it off the top of your head? Yes. Do you know it off the top of your head? Not always. If you're taking the SAT and they let you use the calculator, should you use it to double check your work? Absolutely. Why get a problem wrong because you're not 100% sure? And a lot of times kids just second guess themselves, right? So anyways, let's do the next one. We've got x divided by 14 is equal to 5. What do I do? Yep, we multiply both sides by 14. Everybody should be writing this down. If you're not writing this down, you're going to be in big trouble. 14 divided by 14 is 1. 1 times x is just x. What's 5 times 14? 70. Come on. I could do this all day. Get on my level. Word. On God. All right. I don't feel comfortable saying that, by the way, so I'm not going to say that. 2a equals 24. 2 times a, what's the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So we're going to divide by 2. What's 2 divided by 2? 1 times a, which is a, right? You guys answered the next, you answered the question that I'm asking next, which is funny. What's 24 divided by 2? 12. Did you say a lot? Yeah. Lord. Problem number 9. This is where we get into the real deal stuff. Negative 12 plus x equals 0. Now, technically, negative 12 is the same as subtracting 12. If I want to move the 12 away, what's the opposite of subtracting 12? Plus 12. So I'm going to add 12 here. What do I do over here? Whatever I do on one side, you got to do the exact same on the other. Yeah, 12. Well, hold on. Am I teaching or are you? Well, one of us has a degree in mathematics education. So there's that. So what's 12 minus 12? 0. What's 0 plus x? X. What's 0 plus 12? Well, bam, with the bacon sizzle, that's the answer. Okay? Let's move on and do problem number 10. Problem number 10. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of these problems. I've got x divided by 14 is equal to 12. What do I do? What do I need to move away from the x? 14. So how do I do that? Multiply both sides by 14, right? Whatever I do on one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. That just leaves me with x. What's 12 times 14?
116.
That sounds about right. Let's double check on the calculator. I think you're right because it's 140 plus 28. So we'll say 12 times 14. Woo, you guys are smart. You must have an amazing math teacher. All right, problem number 11. Oh, we got to hurry. Problem number 11. 12 is equal to negative 2 times p. What do I do to get p by itself? Divide by what? Negative 2. Remember, whatever this number is, I got to move the whole thing. So if I want to move the negative 2, I've got to divide by negative 2 in this case, whatever we're doing. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a positive one. If I just divided by 2, it'd be a negative 1. Then I'd have negative p. I don't want that. I want a positive p. So on this side, I get p. And what about 12 divided by negative 2? What's that? Yep, negative 6. Good.
That P is pushing P.
Oh, stop. Here we go. I'm so tired of hearing that song every time they use a variable p. Problem number 12. 13 plus p equals 30. Now, what we want to do is we want to get p by itself. Whoops. We want to get p by itself. And so we have to do the opposite. What is the 13 doing?
You're gonna, instead of adding it, you have to subtract 13 from 13.
Yes, but what was the question I asked you? What is 13 doing to the p? It's adding. So because it's adding, we would subtract 13. And whatever I do on one side, yeah. You're going to hand it in to me in a second when we're done. So what's 13 minus 13 over here? 0. What's 0 plus p? It's just p. What is 30 minus 13? 17. All right. Problem number 13. I've got 10 is equal to x minus 5. Again, I want to get x by itself. What's this 5 doing over here to the x? So to move it, what do? You add it. So I'm going to add 5 here. Whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I do to the other. What's negative 5 plus 5? 0. What's 0 plus, that is not a very good 0. What's 0 plus x? X. So over here I've got x. What's 10 plus 5? 15. Very good. All right, real quick. Do 14 on your own. See if you can beat me.
I'm done.
Negative 9 equals, hold on, plus.
Guess who else has a bigger one than me?
No, you don't.
That's why I beat you.
Did you guys get x equals negative 19?
Yes, I did.
All right, so what I want you guys to do is just set them right there on the table.
Make sure to like and subscribe, boys and girls.
Shout out to Liz.